Is there a way to
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What?
Never mind.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is Our Life. This video actually I am making for katduff3. I hope I got your screen name, your profile name correct. I want to recommend something to you. This. I will provide a link to this ladies blog, and you can get her book on there. I've only skimmed through it, really. I guess that's too small to read, but anyway, I've read part of it. I mean, look, it's thin. It's not. You know, it's hard for me to do anything right now because I need new glasses.
We're going to get you new glasses.
I think that says 76 pages, so that's not a big book, not a long book. I mean, if I'm going to read something, I have to put the glasses on, but even then, But anyway, one of the things she says in here is $20 a month. Start with $20 a month, and certain things you want, like a 25-pound bag of flour or larger. Now we have to be careful here because we have pantry moths, and they get into everything.
Yes.
And you'd be surprised at what they can get into.
Things have to go in jars.
Yeah.
Basically.
And they will get into chili peppers. And they will lay their little eggs in there, and then all of a sudden you have these little worms. And it's gross. Anyway, so what she says is take, look at the, see, that's like a bag of sugar and a bag of charcoal, I think.
We lost, what was it, a bag of masa.
Yeah, we lost a whole bag of masa. You know, and masa up here is not like it is in Texas.
Hard to find.
Yeah, it's hard to find, and it's not cheap. But, you know...
The bag of masa, guess what came with?
Yeah.
Lost a little baby moth.
Yeah, and there were webs, you know, they had make these little
big
webs.
mess.
Yeah, and anyway, so basically she says take 20 bucks, and if you can't do 20, then do 15. If you can't do 15, then do 10. Each month, buy like a 25-pound bag of flour, whatever money, if you have money left over, let's say you're doing $20, and you have money left over after the flour, then buy some spices or buy some salt or, you know, something like that. Next month, buy a 25-pound bag of beans or a 25-pound bag of sugar. You know, and if you have a little money left over, again, salt, spices, you know, whatever you can include in that 25 bucks. She says $20, but I'd say try 25. Also, now I'm going to provide you a link to her blog. She has some great stuff on there. Also, where did I live in Texas? Okay, I lived in Alief, Texas, which when I lived there it was still rural or semi-rural. Today it's gang territory. It's just awful from what I hear. You know, when I lived there, geez, you could go out in the middle of the night and walk around and you'd probably never see anybody else because there wasn't anybody else around. There were still dirt roads and farms. Well, the farms were abandoned. Well, not all of them. Some of them were still going, because we had one behind our house. But anyway, or behind the subdivision. But so I lived in Alief off and on for 11 years. It was like my home address. During that time, I lived in Austin for about a year at Austin State Hospital. I lived, well, I guess I lived in Bel Air, Texas for the summer. And I lived in Houston for a few months at Houston International Hospital, adolescent ward. And I lived in Mineral Wells for a year at Edgemead, which was, oddly enough, the best of all the places I was in. It was basically better than my home life. I lived in Victoria, outside of Victoria, between Victoria and Goliad, for about 3 years in a horrible place called the Devereaux Foundation. I've made a video about that place. Let me see. I guess that's about it during that time period. Then, after high school, I lived in the hill country in a little town out. Actually, I didn't even live in the town. I lived outside the town, called Ingram, which is west of Kerrville. Mind you, that was 1982 or 83. I think we moved there in either 82 or 83. We lived there for about 3 years, although during those 3 years, one of those years, I lived in Waco. I went to TSTI, which is now TSTC, Texas State Technical Institute, now Texas State Technical College. When I lived in Mineral Wells, we went to Fort Worth, Dallas, Arlington, that area a whole lot. There was a restaurant, and my understanding is some of the restaurants are still around, some of the locations of the restaurant, but different owners. It was Crystal's Palace. It was like a pizza joint, pizza restaurant. Really nice. I liked it. I loved it, actually. They had like build your own sundae for $1, or 50 cents, or whatever it was back in those days.
That sounds good.
Yeah. They had it was a build your own sundae bar. And
everything on it except the kitchen sink.
Yeah, yeah. And you know they had all sorts of little places you could sit, and they had pool tables.
Here.
What?
We need places like that up here.
Yeah, we do. Maybe over in Manch or Concord or Nashua, but here, I mean, the biggest town near us is not big.
They call it. They say it's what, 25,000?
That's with the students.
Yeah, with the college students.
Yeah. And when the college, when college is out,
oh gosh,
the
town dries up.
Yeah, they roll up the sidewalks.
Well, not exactly, but the traffic slows down a lot.
Yeah, and you have to watch it when we drive through town, especially if we're there after dark, because the people don't stop.
They will just zip out in front of you.
Yeah, they'll just walk right across the street. And there's not always, you can't always see them before you get there, because there are cars, trucks, vans parked there, or there's something blocking your vision.
Or the idiots wear dark clothes
at
night.
Yeah, and you know, all of a sudden there's somebody coming along, and I'm like, whoa. You know, I mean, there's been more than a few times I've had to hit the brakes, you know.
Can't we stick a flashing red light on their head or something?
Yeah. Now, when you go down this one street, they have traffic circles here. And you go down this one traffic circle, and it basically goes right down the side of the college, Keene State College.
That one can be a mess.
Yeah, but thankfully, there are these yellow posts on either, well, 2 on each side of the road, but they're mainly for the college kids, you know. And when somebody walks past them, they'll start blinking, So that kind of...
something in the sidewalk, a sensor or something.
Oh, like they step on it?
Yeah, I think it's like under the pavement.
Oh, okay.
Like one of those big, thick rubber mats over it or something.
Okay. So, you notice, that's what you have to kind of look at that, because they'll just walk straight out. Like my wife said, they'll wear dark clothing in at night. So...
And if the classes are letting out, it's like a herd.
You just sit
not
there.
One or two, it's like 20 of them moving across like cattle almost.
And the one thing is, there's a dorm, a college dorm.
On the right side.
College
on the left side.
Yeah, so it's like they're coming and going, and all the student housing, private apartments and stuff are all over here. And then there's a church over here, and that city center is over here, and then there's the college. So they're, going back and forth.
And you've always got a straggler.
Yeah. And, at night, it's not just that they're wearing dark clothes, it's that they're drunk.
Okay, in 2011, the population was 23,395 people.
23,395.
So, 2011.
But see, that's with King State
with all the brats,
students. Yeah.
As we call them.
When we were living in Keene in the shelter, in the women's shelter, in the family shelter, it wasn't that bad. But in the women's shelter, because it's like a block away from the college,
and the convenience store.
Yeah. The convenience store was like 2 or 3 houses down, and oh my gosh,
it was like a nut house.
When the semester started, well, I guess, was it fall semester?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because the first 2 or 3 weeks, these kids are...
Well, when did they move in? Like in July or August? I think in August they started moving in.
Yeah.
Late July, early August, they started moving in, and oh God, it was okay when they were first moving in, but after the August...
It's like once school starts...
In September were hell months.
Yeah.
Until it got so cold that they couldn't be outside.
Yeah, the noise. They're drinking, they're partying.
Getting into fights.
And,
the cops called on them.
They would stand in the middle of the street. They're not arguing with each other, they're talking, but they're drunk, so they're really, really loud.
It's like, oh, shut up.
And, then you have the cops coming by, and,
I wish I owned a slingshot.
And up here, people don't use air conditioners.
Very
you just
few.
open the window. Even though it does get to 100 degrees up here, maybe for 2 or 3 weeks, but it gets to 100 degrees. Well,
Just give me a slingshot and a lot of small rocks.
Yeah. Well, from what I hear...
Like a good hard smack on their butt.
San Antonio, it's 90 degrees now. And up here, it's still freezing. It's 28 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
Yeah, we wish we could drag some hot weather up here and melt the snow.
Yeah. The thing is, to be honest with you, I don't miss the heat.
Well, just long enough to melt the snow, damn it.
Yeah. But see, my wife's from Illinois, so she's never really experienced what Texas, Texas
I've lived through 100-degree heat in Illinois, too.
Yeah, but for 12 months out of the year?
Well, believe me, when it's 103...
Yeah, you feel it.
It roasts you.
It doesn't matter how long it lasts, you still feel it. And
you get humidity coming in right off the Mississippi River.
Oh, yeah.
Right on top of it, so it's nice and muggy.
Also, I think the author's daughter has a... The author's daughter, she has like a... What do you call those electronic books?
Kindle?
Kindle book.
Or Nook.
Or Nook or whatever. You can find it on Amazon. I don't recall.
Well, Kindle is Amazon's version, and Nook is Barnes & Noble's
version. I think it's like Poverty Cooking or Poverty Cookbook. I think it's by the author's daughter. I'm not sure. But you might want to look into this. I'm sure she provides some recipes in here, but I couldn't. I wish there was a PDF of this that I could you know, a free PDF, I'd give you a link to it, but I've looked and I couldn't find one. But I can't see without the glasses anyway, so.
Oh, Keene used to have a railroad yard in it.
Yeah, over there.
Boston and Marine Railroad Yard.
Yeah, over there by
1916 is a picture of it.
By Southwestern.
Yeah.
So anyway, this video is like over 15 minutes long now. I hope you were able to sit through it. How do we manage, or how do I manage to sit still? Let me tell you, when I first went to college many years ago, I think I started college in 87 or 88, something like that, maybe 89. I didn't think I was going to be able to sit through lectures. And at first it was hard. I used to get, my guts to get all tied in a knot, knowing I have to get up and do something. Like in elementary school, I'd get up and run around and then get in trouble. But you can't exactly do that in college. Run up and down between the rows of chairs, of desks. But, oh, and also, this stuff is not very good. We got it free at the kitchen, so. Anyway, I guess, you know, I understood that college was serious business, and I wanted my degree, so I forced myself to sit there. And then I took the only class that, now some classes were like an hour and a half. If it was Tuesday, Thursday classes, an hour and a half. Monday, Wednesday, Friday were only 1 hour at a time. But one semester I took Botany 1, which was like beginning botany, intro botany. I was taking it as my science requirement, but I was auditing the class. What I was going, because the only time I had taken science before that was in 3rd grade. Like, you know, but then I go and take this class on. I understand all this stuff, which was kind of neat. Now that class was only 1 day a week, yet it was worth 3 credit hours, which meant we were in class for 3 hours a day. Plus, we had labs, which were all on that 1 day. So we're basically in class half the day. But thankfully, the professor, she gave us like 15-minute breaks, you know. But there was also a lot of moving around because there was labs. She kind of mixed the lecture and lab together, you know. And like I said, she kind of played with the schedule a bit. But we would, you know, like, we'd have microscopes set up, and somebody would have a stereo microscope, which was really cool because she brought in samples because she worked at the botanical gardens. And she brought in some samples of aquatic plants, and one of the students was looking through the stereo microscope, and then the professor said, "I want everybody to come over here." So we got to move around and talk to each other. You know, it was a very relaxed class. It was really nice. Because spending that much time in one class is nerve-wracking. But another thing that helps is this medicine and this medicine. Without this, I wouldn't sleep anyway. And I want an increase in this one. But anyway, we all got to look in the microscope. There's this little microscopic worm that was sitting there munching on the plant. I mean, you could sit there, you stood there looking at it, and I was like, wow, this is cool. So, you know, but the microscopes we were using weren't that type of microscope, so you couldn't see that kind of thing through the microscope. So I don't know how to tell you how I manage, because except to take medicine and pay attention to what's going on. And thanks for all the kind words.